Hi everyone, this is Mike Gordon. Welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Final Fantasy VI Advance, where our objective is, as usual, to beat the game accomplishing everything the game has to offer. Okay, here's the equipment setup for each of my characters right here. And now let's go check out the items. Alright, 18, 36, 54, 72, 90, 108, 126, 141. Step count's 82,243, and the frame in which I loaded up the save files 888. Yes, I manipulated the Veldt encounters. Frame 888 will always start in Group 20, Formation 5, which is Imperial Elites. Since I only got into one encounter each of the next couple groups, what I land on doesn't matter, but it wouldn't hurt to check the step count. I took 6 steps here. Now I just need to hope that Gal returns after the battle is over. Just note that if Gal pops up, even if you scare him off, you will not receive their bestiary entries. Alright, just one more I think. Yep. And here's Gal. So just a bookmark, I have to still get Adam and Carrion Banaiken's bestiary entries some other way later. But right now, we need to get Vinabinu's rage. And here he is, so all I need to do is have Gal leap. And the next formation is just a bunch of flans. I don't care about that. A bit of magical editing here. I'm right outside the Esper Caves now. Because there's a formation here I want to get. And there it is. So, just a note. I have manipulated these encounters here. I want to be careful not to exceed my step count. Because I want to grab the healing rod. And that's it. I enter the Esper Caves, go outside, and the formation I want is Mandrake Land Grillin. And there it is. By the way, it's like 616, 516, and then 516. Alright. Now I'm going to teleport out of here so I don't risk any bad encounters. I'm heading back to the Veldt. And I actually redid the save buffer to load up on frame 1014. That gets me into 2 Dawn encounters with only 13 steps. Trust me, I counted. So another 27 steps and we will get Dawn Joker. And luckily for us, this was a side attack because this means Gal will not appear in this battle. Alright, and I manipulate so that we get 3 balloons. There are some earlier formations that we could get to 6 balloons, but that's very much of a waste of time. Gal will not appear when there are 6 balloons, or at least he will pretty much never appear with 6 balloons. The reason why is because the space is full. Now we manipulate so we get Devour Briareus. That's 27. We have not encountered formation 27. Forgot what it is actually supposed to be, and neither have we encountered 22-4 yet. Actually, I don't think 22-4 has an occupied space. So what happens is it circles back to 22-0, which is Mandrake Land Grillin. Alright, that should take care of business here. Pointless counterattack because he's dead. And luckily Gao came back. And I just like to attack Gao on the final attack once he starts talking because I know those attacks will not go through. Once again, I don't care about the flans. I did a bunch of menuing out. All you need to know is that I fully removed Gao's equipment and I'm making an emergency save just in case. Because I am about ready to head up into the floating continent. Now, to be fair, the floating continent is very, 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 very difficult to manipulate the encounters up there. In fact, I dare say it's pretty much close to impossible. But I'm gonna see what I can do. Alright, I'm gonna make the party of Terra, Locke, and Edgar because all three of them are on level 99. I want Locke at the bottom row. And you get into a series of 7 encounters in this area. And both Sky Armor Spitfire formations are missable, though you are guaranteed at least one of those formations. By the way, I can't access the menu right now. Don't know why. So I'm just gonna clear this enemy out, and the emergency save I made right before doing this is in case I don't run into both formations. Again, if the formation's in white, it's either because you're guaranteed to run into it, or the formation itself doesn't appear on the Veldt. And bosses embody both facets. Yeah, every battle here is gonna be a pincer attack, so whatever. I made out all the redundant battles. And that was pretty quick. Just took 3 battles to get a formation I approve of. And something you need to know, too, is that I'm basically stuck. Going to be stuck at this section of the game for a while. The reason why is because the floating continent is technically a part of the airship. Oh, that's definitely strange. I don't know what that pink monster thing is. I'll give you a hint. Check the bottom HUD. Alright. Just want to check the bestiary percentage. And we have one more encounter, I believe. Nope. Yes, that was the last encounter. This is our last battle. Honest. I don't get Ultras at all. I know he's basically like a tentacle rapist from hell or something. For anyone who's seen Robot Chicken or know what I'm talking about, but I don't get it. Yeah, level 99, these bosses are a cakewalk. Now we have to battle another boss immediately afterwards. And by the way, we got moved up a full percentage. I want to steal from each of these parts. And I want to kill the parts one at a time. But I'll have to make sure that the bit actually spawns in this battle. I'll take this guy out. This boss is supposed to be really challenging, but if you're level 99, again, this is a cakewalk. Alright, got the, got the bits to appear. Alright, and now we can just kill this guy. Since we got all 4 bestiary entries. Yeah, the bit is the only enemy that's technically missable. If the bit doesn't spawn and you kill Air Force, bit never appears again. And I got a princess ring. And we get the prelude incorporated to the floating continent theme. Anyways, I'm going to have to reset everyone's levels because we are about to recruit Shadow. But first, a little bit of menuing. Got one alarm earrings here. Let's Gale Hairpin. And now we save our game and then do a quick save. And I'm gonna edit out the whole thing. I'm just going to let you know that I'm resetting everyone's levels, including Sabin's. You gotta remember Sabin. Because because I did level up Sabin quite a bit to like 43 or something. And again, all you have to do is name Edgar and Sabin and you're free to go. Also, Shadow's level gets rounded up to level 4 regardless of your party's level average. This is because Shadow got rounded up alongside all your other party members after Thamasa. And the level average was level 4. Alright, I'm gonna just give Shadow the Gale Hairpin and, trying to find the alarm earring. And now, Edgar goes back to wearing the Gigas Glove. And finally, Tara wears the War Bangle. Alright. Emergency save and reset, just in case. Oh yeah, I reformatted the enemy, the item. So yeah, here's the, I'm resetting the levels, just in case. And I actually checked the floating continents encounters and how they worked. And, floating continent and the Serpent Trench are the only 2 places that I know of in Final Fantasy VI Advance where the encounters are fixed based on the frame in which you arrived at the encounter spot. In Floating Continent's case, the encounter spot is the step count. No. In every other place, the formation is basically set based on the frame, and the order is basically set on the frame in which you booted up the save file. But here, it's set based on where you are located when you get into on the frame you got an encounter in. This basically means that the Serpent Trench and Floating Continent are the only 2 places with truly random encounters. It's something I just realized I could probably just haste lock. No, wait. Better yet, use Dispel, because Stop is not like a status ailment, and lock is technically already hasted up. So you just want to dispel the Stop. Because that's how it works. But anyways, as I said, all the encounters here are pretty much completely random. The frame in which you get an encounter in will determine which one of these encounters that you will run into. And there's 12 for me. The reason why the Floating Continent is... I don't know why the Serpent Trench is like this, but the reason why the Floating Continent is because there's 12 random encounters in total up there. There really aren't any rooms. So I basically stole everything I needed to steal here, so I'm gonna nuke these guys. And Misfit is surprisingly durable. I figure out, you know what, let's try Holy. That seemed to work. Yeah, these enemies are quite durable when your level's so low. Alright. I'm going to use the ribbon trick here to cure Terra's blindness. And man, I can't believe how much magic points it costs Terra just to get through this battle. And then I forgot that I should be equipping Terra with Esper so I could max out her stats. And encounter I didn't really care to get into, but you know, it's better than nothing. It's better than all these other red ones. That just means I will have to manipulate the behemoth encounter when I get to it. By the way, how the encounters here work with 12 encounters? Ninja, the top two spots are like 10 and 64 odds of running into. The next four are like 6 and 64, which are Dragon, Behemoth Misfit, Behemoth, and Apocrypha Misfit. And then the four after that, which are Apocrypha, Platinum Dragon, Apocrypha 3, and Brain Pan 3, are like 5 and 64. And then you have Behemoth 2 and the Ninja Platinum Dragon, which are 2 and 64. Wrap your head around all that. Okay, I have to check just to make sure I'm actually boosting up Terra's magic stat. And there's the Murasami Blade. Alright. Try to be really careful with the encounters. The step count, because I have... You know, if I realized that you can't leave the Floating Continent via the teleport spell, I probably would not have done this. I'm basically manipulating every single encounter here so I only get into those 3 encounters. Yeah, I would benefit grabbing ninjas and or platinum dragon formations now, but really that will just make the grinding process that much more difficult. But if you're playing this on an actual Game Boy Advance, and not on an emulator like I am, then a recommendation I would have to do is don't really worry about grinding the rare steals off of these enemies. You know, dragons are pretty much the only reliable way to acquire Genji gloves. But aside from that, if you basically dictate your actions based on what encounters you get or don't get, what encounters you run into or don't run into, you're gonna have a rough time. And here's a monster in a box, and we're getting to an encounter with with one Gigantos. Now, if you did not run into Venabenu 2 or the Mandrake Landgrelin from Mount Esper, from the outdoor section of Mount Esper's, then you are basically guaranteed to run into this guy. No, wait, you're not guaranteed to run into this guy because of the sky armor and, but you have a decent shot at running into him. That's all that matters. However, my rationale is there are better ways to get the X Potion, Elixir, and even the Sasuke Blade than trying to grind off of just one of him in the Veldt. You'll see what I mean when we get to the World of Ruin. Cura. Alright. Trying to manipulate the set count. I'm being very cautious. By the way, the reason why there's a lot of spots where I'm just not able to move at all, and I'm like getting stuck, it's because there's a lot of dead frames on the floating continent. What a dead frame is a frame where you are unable to move, where your inputs simply don't register. And the only reason why the floating continent has so many dead frames is actually because this place is wreaking havoc, and I mean all sorts of havoc, on the Game Boy Advance's processing power. Because there's like a bunch of things going on in the background, and there's 12 encounters for us to run into. So this place is basically the living embodiment of hell. For the record, you need to recruit Shadow before you proceed any further. Alright. Yeah, the result is that I had to use a ton of save states just to get through this part. I gotta stop here to keep Dragon from potentially counterattacking with the Snort attack, which would then make this battle that much more difficult. Yeah, I'm basically just trying to see if I can just kill him with minimum spell cast. Took a bit of a while, but I did it. Yeah, you will find that, Locke, Edgar, Setzer, and Shadow are the only characters from the World of Balance I do not teach any magic to. And in Shadow's case, even if I have no specific reason to, in regards to the World of Ruins, it's extremely inconvenient. Alright. Hit the switch. Should I go up? And there's another switch up there. I'm sorry, there really isn't a whole lot to say. Because all I can really do is prove that I'm running into the same formations over and over again. And I'm constantly stealing alarm earrings and angel rings from these guys, from the Misfits and Apocryphas, and I'm stealing Genji gloves from dragons. By the way, that's something I'm gonna do all through spend a considerable amount of time doing in the Veldt. Alright, I'm about to learn the hard way that I just went down the wrong hole. Just drop Ultima on top of Behemoth. Just to kill him off quickly. And that took me by surprise, like, uh-oh. Well, how do I proceed? Well, I basically looked at the map and realized I have to go back where I came from. Because those switches actually changed the lay of the land. And luckily we don't have to flip those switches again when we come back here. And I got lucky there, so I'm just gonna cast Stop on him. Let's see, Thundara. And again, I must apologize for the weird sound discrepancies. I think it might either be the emulator itself or just the PAL version of the Game Boy Advance. And see, we now have access to a whole nother section of the Flame Continent. A whole section we previously didn't have access to. The reason why I'm being extremely cheap and frugal with my magic is because I'm just trying to see if I can minimize. But I'm not doing that because Behemoth will basically counterattack at least half your attacks with beatdown. And the end result is not exactly time effective of one's time. Alright, so... just want to make sure that her magic set is actually maxed out this time. And I decided, you know what? I'm gonna try to speed this up, so I'm just gonna throw some thunder rods at this guy. Flip another switch and we can proceed. And here's yet another dragon. And I'm breaking yet another thunder rod. And this time we are good. We don't want to go down there yet. I'm gonna take on the boss of this area. It's actually one of the toughest enemies in the World of Balance, and is basically the final boss of the World of Balance. And I want to remove Shadow's accessories because I don't want him taking anything with him. Final bit of menuing. And now what I want to do is try to build up everyone's resistances. White capes are going to be helpful. And so will reflect rings. And in Locke's case, I want the Thief Bracer. So I'm going to give up the Hermes Sandals in favor of the Reflect Ring. This boss can be quite dangerous. And my stats are inflated beyond belief, thanks to the level reset trick, but I still want to take precautions just in case. Yeah. 140. I have 147 items. I realized I need to bolster up Terra's magic points. Now I'm ready to take on this beast. My name is Ultima. I am both ancient and unrivaled. I do not bleed, for I am but strength given form. Feeble creatures of flesh, your time is not. Excuse me. I want to use Debilitator and try to get the poison weakness. So I could just spam bio and poison rods with every attack. And I thought about doing the same thing with Bio Blasters as well. But then I realized that Bio Blaster is very, very, very weak. Like, geez, I'd be better off just sticking with drill. And yeah, Shadow's dead. And eventually I do, and that's literally all I do. Then I eventually find out that I'd be better off just using drill than bio. Oh wait, Quake does not affect the reflex status, so... See? I mean, it's not significantly more, but it's as noticeable. Ultima Weapon will absorb pretty much every element in the game, which is why I decided to just use Debilitator, and the reason why I stole it from the Missile Bay earlier on. So I could kill this guy really, really fast. Didn't even show off how dangerous he truly can be. That's what happens when you come prepared. And oh yeah, I stole a second ribbon off of him. That's a rare steal, by the way. Yep, I just wanted to check, you can't teleport off the Flame Continent. And something else I realized is that I completely forgot to equip Terra with the sprint shoes. Actually, I completely forgot to return everyone's equips back to their usual selves. So I'll take the beat down. Because the step count doesn't change in the Flame Continent. All that really changes is the encounters. So sprint shoes and warp angles. And I believe that Edgar was Gigas Glove and Hermes Sandals. And finally, return lock back to Hermes Sandals. Now let's try to make our way back to the airship. And yes, Shadow's left our party. And now we are back on the airship. And just in case, removing all equips from those not in the party. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set my equips so that way I can get all of Gao's remaining rages from the Flame Continent quickly. And replace Warp Angle with Alarm Earrings and give Gao double earrings. Gotta be careful there. And now I'm basically just skipping ahead. Just sort of realized I needed to reset my game. So I'm gonna stop by at the inn. And oh yeah, Gao needs to still be learning some spells. Actually, I couldn't think of it. The only character that absolutely needs to learn some spells now is Celis. But I'm going to take care of that off screen. And I manipulate encounters again so I can run into the Chimera on my first go around. Yeah, these strange edits are definitely proof positive that I made quite a number of mistakes while recording this episode. Alright, Edgar. Altera and Locke both gained extra experience over Edgar because Edgar got snored away by a dragon, so Edgar's returning the favor. And by the way, that's the only other encounter that I care to get right now. Well, there's technically one more guy, but we'll get to him. Now let's see, let me check my notes real quickly. Formation, I manipulated the formation by laying on frame 953. Which means the first encounter that I run into is against the Chimera that I just ran into in the massive forest area. Unfortunately, I also realized that I don't want to have Gao leap on top of this Chimera. Not yet, anyways. Because the next encounter after this is a pincer attack against the Sky Armor and Spitfire. Still, I want Gao to gain some experience, gain some ability points, so I have to bring him back from the dead. Yeah, I managed to steal a Hyper Wrist from him. And that'll do it. And just a reminder, Gao will not spawn in a pincer attack, or a side attack, or a back attack. Only normal battles and preemptive strikes. That's it. But you can still leap on these guys. In these sorts of battles, he just simply won't come back. So now I have to manipulate the next formation, which is 23-7, Brain Pan, Misfit, Apocrypha. Just need to take out these guys. I realized I could probably just use noise blasters. And I want to try to take out the Apocrypha. Alright. Yeah, Gao, I still need to wait for Gao's turn to come up before he says all that. And finally, we got the dragon, which is a 100% guaranteed encounter for us. But on the bright side, and I basically need to do a lot of finagling. I basically got to a random encounter outside of the Veldt, I'll show off which encounter I got, but it's a new encounter later on, but it is a new encounter, sort of. Just gonna nuke the Chimera so that Gal will just pop right back. Gal will not. Additionally, there are certain formations and encounters that Gal will not spawn back from, including a few bosses. It really depends on how much space there is left on the field and what kind of encounter it is. Alright, stole the explosion and leaped on top of them. And I literally manipulate all these encounters to ensure that I encountered these formations specifically. Chimera, Gigantos, and Behemoth. I did no manipulation for Dragon, that's guaranteed. And I know that's 24-6 there. Dragon is supposed to be 24-1. But you're guaranteed to run into it regardless. But I want to forget to move Gao in the back row. After the dragon encounter, because I just want to keep stealing Genji gloves. Doesn't work when you haven't dealt any damage to him. It's like, fuck it, let's try Ultima. Maybe it'll work. Dragons are weak against thunder, lightning elemental attacks, but Ultima just deals so much more damage. Now, this time I changed the entire composition of my party, and I boot up a save file on frame 1063. Probably didn't need to do that, but it's kind of neat that way. Now we're going to try to teach Strago all of his available lores in the World of Balance. And that's what we're going to spend the rest of this episode doing. Now, to learn the Traveler lore, you need to confuse the Unseelie. Get into an encounter against an Unseelie and confuse them. And it's worth noting that Strago cannot be blind or dead, or ran away from battle. He has to be on the field, present, and able to witness the attack in question being used. And that's Traveler for you. Next formation, we're gonna try to teach Strago Doom. It is not a lore that Trillium will ever use, but we can still teach Strago lore against pretty much anybody, so long as you have the Zombie Dragon Rage, which we do. Let me just find it. There it is. And that does nothing for us. We'll just try to wipe these guys out quickly. Now I'm gonna try to teach Gao, Realm, and Strago a couple spells while I can. But in general, Strago and Realm come in so bloody late that you'd be better off teaching them in the World of Ruin. Gao is similar because we never use him. The only character that we absolutely need to teach magic to is Celes. And I'm going to just skip through battles 4 through 6 because they're redundant. Well, battles 3 through 5, actually. I'm going to show what I'm going to do about battle 6 because we don't want to get into that fight. So this is Triangle Island. We are about to get into our last new encounter in this episode. And it's basically the super boss of the World of Ruin. World of Balance. Yeah, your eyes aren't deceiving you. This guy's invisible. The only way to deal with this is to cast magic on him. And I'm gonna cast a stop spell so he doesn't counterattack. However, he will counter whoever the character was that killed him. And this guy will actually take quite a bit of effort and some strategizing in order to beat. And I'm basically manipulating Realm's sketches so she's always using Traveler on Integer. And by the way, Integer is a really good enemy to grind magic against. So, inevitably, I'm going to take Celes with me to Triangle Island. And I don't want to use Traveler, Sketch Integer again because I want to make sure I kill him right here and there now. Integer has like 32,000 hit points. "10 ability points. That is easily the most ability points that any enemy can spit out at you in the World of Balance. And now we are ready to return to the Veldt because we shifted the encounter one spot. And for Satellite, we have to wait 9 turns at least before Satellite will use our next enemy lore. And something I realized is that Strago absolutely needs to have silver spectacles on because Satellite can actually blind you. Something else I realized is that Satellite can also confuse you. So I'm basically looking for an accessory that will protect against that, and I found peace rings. Alright. And I realize that I don't care about Gao, I just care about making sure that Realm and Strago don't get screwed over by Satellite. So we need to run into this guy soon. And I'm just gonna fast forward to when Satellite does use Discord, so I'll be right back. Alright. Where is it? There it is. Felt like I had to do all that. And there's the Discord. What? Yeah, that's what Discord does. It halves your level. So I think Realm, she's level 3, so using Discord on her means she's like level 1 or level 2. What that really does is it makes you susceptible to certain level spells, like level 3 Confuse and stuff. It also makes you very weak. Just gonna use Ultima on this guy. And there's nothing to gain off of this spell. We just have to fight him off, but the next spell we could get something out of it. Around learn Confuse. And yep, Kate Sith, Realm just learned her first spell. Just cool. I'll update it near the end of the episode. And I fast forward until the point where I can now just attack the bomb. And it counterattack Realm. I want Realm to counterattack because Gal can't do it reliably, and Terra can kill it, and Strago needs to be alive in order to learn a lore. So I skipped over to a few more battles later. We're against 3 trappers. And we can actually learn 3 lores off of these guys. Alright, and we need a... There's no way to... And as of right now, there's really no way to protect against level 5 death. Unless your name is Realm. But Strago can still learn level 5 death if he's alive at the end of the battle. But we need to bring Gal back to life as well. Because, you know, if these guys act like fools and don't use level 3 Confuse, or because they ran out of MP can't, I can then just teach Gal have Gal use the Trapper Rage, uses level 3 Confuse. And this is something you basically need to realize about this. There are 3 ways. You know, Realm and Gal can also help Strago learn these lores. They don't have to be taught by the enemy specifically. Somebody just has to use it in order for Strago to learn it. And the next battle is going to be against Shaolin Onion Knights, and what we care about more are the Onion Knights. We don't have the rage for the formation for 16-6, so it just runs all the way up to 16-0. 16-6 is the, I'm trying to figure out, let's see. Now, I'm pretty sure that 16-6 is the 3 commanders in the South Figueroa Underground. And we already learned the Bomb Rage, and this is actually the new encounter I talked about. You learn that in Bomb Forest, which I will show off in the next episode where it's located. It's the same bombs as the ones on the Phantom Train, just a slightly different formation. So I decided to just use the Brain Pan Rage to learn Thousand Needles. Alright. Strago's making strides, has just learned his first spell. And Gal finally learned Fire Wrath, but he still needs to learn Drain. But I need to skip ahead to a few battles. Specifically to the 21st battle in this set. which is 22-7, which is the pincer attack against the Sky Armor in Spitfire. And something else I realized is I should probably re-equip earrings on everyone. And Terra's fine. And something worth noting is I don't really care what kind of formation I run into. Off screen, because I basically just ran into an integer. So I was able to move the formation up in the 22nd battle, in the 22nd group to 22-1, which is against Venabenu. I skip ahead for 3 turns. I waited 3 turns, so Venabenu used White Wind, and now I get to nuke him. And now I skip ahead to the fight against Integer. And this time all we have to do is leap onto him and we get rage number 111 out of a possible 114 in the World of Balance. And I'm going to just skip ahead, so Gao is back in our party, and I just learned Transfusion. I literally have no idea what that does, but took Gao out of the battle. It also killed him, by the way. But Strago learned Transfusion, so I don't really care. Anyways, alright, it's time to wrap it up. I'm gonna heal up, and I'm gonna finish my grind section, and I'll show off all the points of no returns later on. With all that said, this is Mike Gordon, signing out.